friends, you're in the All Indiana Kitchen with me, and I promised you that I'd be making recipes from you guys. Lots of you viewers sent me recipes that I've got to feature for the next few weeks to come while we're still staying at home. The first one I'm going to start with, though, comes straight from my husband, and he loves to do grilled onions, and so much so that we end up making roasted onions throughout the week. And you know what? We eat them alone as a side. They are that good. If you think you don't like onions, trust me, you've got to try them this way. And it's kind of an easy one-ingredient recipe. So if you're inside, set your oven to 425. If you're outside, fire up that grill to medium-high. We did this last night. I've got a picture for you in just a second, but let's get to the recipe. So you could pick sweet onions, are my classic favorite. You could also do red onions. So I like to cut them in wedges, as you can see right now. Let me just show you, actually, since we have a second together. I am going to scoot this over so you can see really well what I want you to see. Okay, here we go. Here's a red onion. I love to mix the sweet and the red together, also because I love the color combination. So I like to first cut off the end, give it legs to stand on, and then slice it in half, cut off that root on each side. I always keep a piece of parchment paper or a bowl out here to my left. That way I can put all the produce scraps in it as I'm chopping, unless I have a wastebasket right by my feet. And then just take off the outer layer. Okay, I'm going to keep that because this is where all the good nutrition is, in the outside of the onion. Lots of people are talking about boosting immunity these days. Onions are a great way to boost your immunity, as is garlic. They're all a part of the allium family, and they are excellent immune boosters, okay? So once you've done that, what you're going to do is cut this little guy. We've given him legs to stand on. I call this the rainbow cut. It's really just into wedges. But when I'm teaching my kids to cook at home, this is what we call it. So you cut those onions into wedges, and you place them on a baking sheet lined in parchment paper. Now, I've had a lot of you message me about parchment paper and how you don't usually use it. Once you start using it, you'll never stop. It makes cleanup so easy. And actually, this is the kind I like to buy. Get it from Costco, because you can buy a bunch at once. It comes in like a pack of 3. A lot of times at the regular store, you're like, oh, I've got to like chop off my arm to buy this parchment paper. But you can get a lot at a place like Sam's or Costco. Keep it around because you'll use it all the time once you start. Okay, so from here, just a few other things. I don't usually count these as ingredients. That's why I call this like a one-ingredient wonder. But you're either going to use a little bit of olive oil or cooking spray. Either one that you have on hand will work. And separate some of these wedges. You can keep some of them together. And then sprinkle on a little sea salt and a little garlic powder. Put it in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes, and that's it. Now, if you make this on the grill, I did garlic powder. You don't have to do that. That's an optional ingredient, okay? I love to just add a little bit of something extra, but trust me, they're good enough by themselves. Like I said, we eat these as a side dish. If you put them on the grill, if we could bring up that picture of our dinner last night, that's me grilling up some chicken breast and as well as the pan of onions. Now, let me give you a quick tip. When you go to grill onions, don't use the parchment paper. Just put down olive oil, put that on that screaming hot grill. They'll take maybe 10 minutes. You really got to stand there and watch them. Just give them a little toss. You want those edges to get black, crispy. They are so good. They're addicting. Trust me. You're going to want them for every meal. Put them on a burger. Use them as a side. Sometimes we'll put them on potato soup. If we have onions around, they're inexpensive. They're good for you. Mike, have I convinced you yet? I feel like an onion salesperson.
I like them on kebabs.
Good idea.
They're really good, especially if you get them nice and crisp. All right, Annessa.